Let me fix my hair.
Okay, so what you're seeing right now
Wait a minute, I gotta fix my hair.
This is not an optical illusion. This is not the camera being flipped around so that you see things backwards. She is actually driving.
I'm driving! Woo! No hands! No hands! I want Will to be in the passenger seat for a while so he can see what it's like to have the living daylight scared out of you constantly. Okay, so what are my thoughts? I like this. The seat's really comfortable. And I just want to tell you that Will and I'm sure our moms are going to watch this, so they're going to have a heart attack, but we actually changed seats without stopping the car.
Don't say that too much.
And
that's kind of illegal.
It wasn't as wild as it sounds, but it feels fun to say
We're like
it, right?
Bo and Luke on the Dukes of Hazzard, and we're just jumping. I actually jumped over the front of the car and sort of went around the side.
No, he didn't. He just went from here to there, and I was already back there, and I slid in.
I was here.
Don't believe any of it. I told Will I'm not responsible if someone hits us. It's not my fault. I am being a very cautious driver. When you're in this, it doesn't feel like you're driving a big rig. And I know by US standards, this is not that big, but considering the longest vehicle I've ever had was a minivan in the United States, this is really large, but it doesn't feel like I'm driving something that large.
Do you feel better now that you said all that? Do you feel better?
People want to hear me talk, Will. They said it. They like to hear me talk. So I'm just gonna talk. Well, I think I found my voice in the driver's seat.
It is empowering.
I think I found my voice.
It is very empowering.
So I think these videos are just going to be me driving and talking. So let's start with my childhood. When I was 2,
And we have our first accident, people. Jessica. We were on the highway and two side view mirrors sort of kissed each other.
I think I should be in the frame so I can explain my case.
Here we go.
First of all, I was between my white lines. And Will says I hit him, but what happened was he swerved into my lane. I was between my yellow lines. The lane was super wide. There was no way I branched out of it, and he swerved into my lane. Yes, I did hit him, and he was in front of me, so I guess if it went to court, I'd probably lose because I should have braked really hard, but he swerved into me, and I hit his mirror.
But what did he say?
And now he's chasing us, so we gotta get out of here.
So we're still in Germany in a bathroom. Can you believe that?
We're gonna tell them this?
I don't think we have a choice on this. So we try and get these videos out on a regular scheduled basis, and we try and shoot as close as we can to when we actually experience the actual experience.
So it's raining, it's late at night, we can't film outside, we can't film Lemonade because the tungsten lighting is awful. So the best lighting we can find right now, and this is as good as it gets this week, guys, sorry, is the bathroom.
So where are we at so far?
Hold on a second, I need to go to the bathroom.
Stop. Okay. So Jessica drove. Can you believe that? She finally drove.
And someone hit me.
Super excited. Well, that's kind of your fault. But anyway, but we are now getting into...
Are you going to let me drive again?
Only if you want to. I don't think you're...
I'm gonna drive. There's no will letting me. I'm gonna drive.
All right. So now we're into our educational experience of our German RV tour. And we take education very seriously, guys. And
we're super serious.
Well, we are. We have a whole curriculum that we plan out for the kids. But we also have, in addition to like the laptop learning and the school book learning,
we have out in
experiential learning. And today is one story of how we incorporate experiential learning as part of our kids' curriculum.
And we're gonna share more of these as we go along because a lot of you have voiced requests for wanting to know how we do this. So we will share it. We're already starting to share it on our Insta stories, and now we're gonna start to vlog about it more. And it's we're what we call eclectic world schoolers. But today we're gonna take you on a journey how we learn out in the community. We learn things that most children or teens are taught in textbooks, but on the forefront.
Today we're learning about a real topic. Just you watch. It's about concentration camps. But first we get a laptop. Okay, so we have now left the comfort of our campsite because we have to do a quick pickup. We are at FedEx, and we're at FedEx for a specific reason. We have a package. Now, in this life of ours, in RVs and living in different Airbnbs, we don't necessarily get a lot of mail, we don't get a lot of packages, but this time we had something specifically sent to go and get because we mentioned like a couple times, maybe like 100 times, that we are 4 people and we are either working or schooling or whatever the case may be, but there's a lot of times where we all need to be on some type of computer. And usually the odd man out is either Jessica or myself because the kids get first priority.
My mom was kind enough to give us her old computer. It was of no use to her anymore, and we did not want to spend the money. It's not really in the budget for another computer, so she so kindly shipped hers to us.
We're very excited. We get to work again.
Okay, I need to pick up a package. It was shipped from the United States.
I never thought I'd be so excited to see a 10-year-old laptop.
It's a computer from the 1980s, but it is going to do the job.
It's not that old. I think it's like 2008.
I am happy to have it. I'm happy that we got it. We got it for free. So. Here's. I feel like I'm in fall in New England. I love it. But I miss fall a little bit. Only for like 5 minutes.
So in today's German educational experience, Dachau is a concentration camp which is right outside of Munich, which is an experience where I think most kids, if not all kids, should experience, because it is going to change the way people think about history.
I mean, learning about history almost, I wouldn't say guarantees we won't repeat the negative aspects of it, but it really helps in educating children about what happened when you're walking on the space that these events happened. And this is a really powerful way of education. At least we're incredibly passionate about it. But this is where I really feel like the kids get the richest part of their education.
The kids were, you'll notice in the footage, there's not a lot of voices from them because they were just speechless the entire time.
It's not, guys, it's not a happy topic, you know? So this isn't one of those videos where we're gonna be jumping around, smiling, oh, what an adventure. You know, it's learning, it's deep learning, but it's powerful. And I hope to think that they've come out changed from this experience.
Yeah. So today's edition of Learning While on the Road, Learning While Exploring takes us to
history.
Today we are outside of Munich. We're in a city called Dachau. And this is actually going to take us to a place where there's a lot to learn. We're at a concentration camp. This is the
first concentration camp ever in Germany, and the pilot one where they all were modeled after it.
Right. Now, this is a Dachau concentration camp where about 30-something thousand died. And this was actually not an extermination camp. This was a work camp. We're going to learn a lot here.
It's going to be a heavy day, but we're going to take you on our world schooling journey for the day.
Yep. Okay, so if you guys have been following our journey so far, you guys know that we are homeschoolers / world schoolers /
traditional schoolers /
we educate our kids through just about everything that we can get our hands on.
Right, they have a traditional aspect of their education. They have out in community, we have classes online, they have a business component. There's all kinds of things all intertwined together. However, they all do take a global approach to education.
Right, and today is all about the experiential portion, and today's learning about the history. And today's history lesson is not to repeat it.
Yes, and that's a great thing about learning history. And if you learn it from a history book really well and easier through documentaries, awesome. But for us, we find that the best way to learn about history is reading and documentaries. But also, if we have the opportunity to visit a site where a historical event took place, we do it. And that's exactly what we're doing today. And it's going to be an amazing learning experience, because when you get someplace and you can touch it and see it and actually have a historian who guides you, it just opens up your mind, you get questions, and you just see things so differently.
Right, and to set up the stage for today, this has been on our radar list for a long time, and we know that we wanted to see a concentration camp because we think that the kids are ready. But we start this whole process by, whenever we get to a site, we always start with like either reading a book or looking at a documentary.
Right, so the kids watched 2 documentaries, and we read 1 book, and we're going to continue to read more books about the Holocaust, World War II, concentration camps, all that kind of stuff. And now we're actually physically visiting a site today, a concentration camp site, which kind of ties it all together.
There's nothing like being here firsthand.
Dachau was planned, at least in the first 5-6 years, was planned to be used as a re-education camp for German political opponents. At least in the first 5-6 years, 99% of the inmates were Germans. But if this is okay with you, I also want to give you a detailed briefing about the entire concentration camp system. I want to make a comparison from Dachau to the other concentration camps, because in my personal opinion, it doesn't make sense if you know all the nitty-gritty things about one concentration camp, historically an exception, and you will miss the big picture. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Everybody knew Dachau concentration camp, but neither the largest nor the most horrible concentration camp. So what are the reasons for the historical importance of Dachau? Reason number one, it was used from the beginning of the so-called Third Reich, 1933 to 1945. The reason number two, it served as a model, as a master camp of the concentration camp system. Here are the historical roots of the concentration camp system. Yeah?
We're about to enter into the main gate of the concentration camp, and the narration on this says that work shall set you free. It's quite the play on words.
By the way, all the facilities on our tour today are the original facilities. They did some repairs, yeah, but this is a remake. Why remake? The camp was used after World War II for more than 20 years as a refugee camp for German refugees. After World War II, we had 12.5 million German refugees. They were either bombed out or they were forced to leave their homeland. Because you may know that 25% of our territory went to Poland and then to Russia. And the Germans living there, they were forced to go west. And they used the abandoned concentration camps, not as a jail anymore, as an improvised housing area. We are now on the way to the most horrible place, to the bunker.
Okay, we're about to enter the bunkers. I anticipate this is going to be the most difficult thing to view, because this is where the people lived in really poor conditions. So here we go. But that's what it meant. These are the higher end jail cells. Unbelievable. And this isn't even as bad as it gets, guys.
I know that.
As they like to call it, block. Yeah? 3 living conditions are shown on your way through the exhibition. This is a luxury version at the very beginning, where each and every prisoner had his own bed with a straw mattress like that. All concentration camps were famous for carrying out medical experiments. What was Dachau famous for? Ice cold water experiments and high altitude experiments. And it stands for the following. They put the guinea pigs, the Germans called them rabbits, Kaninchen, into ice cold water. They counted the heartbeats, and when the heartbeats went down on 1 beat per minute, they took him out of the water and they tried to revive him.
So we're now walking down the main road of this area of Dachau, but this is the main area where everyone would come in, and after they work at their work camps and they'd work at the factory assignments where they were sent to, they would come out here and they'd exchange stories like, what did they learn about the front? What did they learn about the German army? What did they learn about anything that is worth trading? Because these people that work here, that were sent here, that were imprisoned here, and they would oftentimes work either for Germans or alongside Germans.
We are now making a left turn, leading us into the crematorium side. And then they were forced to go into the gas chamber, a small gas chamber.
There were 2 parts of the camp that were particularly hard for me. It was that big map where he stood in front of and he showed all the different camps, and then the women's camp, and then like the different camps, the twins and all that kind of stuff. I don't know why, just that map, and it didn't have any pictures on it, but it was really, it put the whole thing in perspective of how many camps there were, and that was really disturbing for me. And then the barracks. How about you guys?
The barracks weren't built yet.
The barracks weren't?
So it was all reconstructed.
Yeah, it was all reconstructed, right. Did you have a really hard part?
No.
No? You like history, don't you, buddy? Boy, are we having a history class today, huh? This is our first concentration camp, and according to him, this is not the most profound, which I would say doesn't have the most killings.
Okay, so where we're at right now is, this is normally during these adventure days, there's a big smile on our face. We're usually happy. We're usually happy that the kids are learning something. The kids are definitely learning something today.
They are.
It's not a happy day.
We're learning too. I mean, what I'm trying to explain to the kids, and you guys all know that we educate through experiences and seeing things and kind of going to the grounds where history happened. What I'm trying to explain to them that this is an incredibly sad moment. However, I think we need to look at how far we've come historically and see that this is something that if it was ever to come to pass that something like this would happen again, I think people would fight and fight really hard. I think we have evolved.
And this is why we have to bring kids here so that they can see this. There's not a lot of kids here. In fact, there's probably no kids here.
I mean, it is heavy material, but guys, we cannot, I'm not talking about taking a 2-year-old and showing them the gas chamber. I'm talking about kids that are going to grow up and can really make a difference, and they should be here. And people are on vacation, and I actually haven't seen one child here, and I don't know how many, no teens, no tweens, nothing. And these are the things, in my humble opinion, that we need to show our kids and expose them to. It does not have the same impact coming out of a history book. A documentary can be very powerful, but a history book sitting in a classroom at a desk, it doesn't have the same impact. And yes, we are fortunate to have this lifestyle. Will and I work very hard for it, and we're fortunate to be able to do this, but we all take vacations, and you can take vacations to Munich and enjoy all the festivities and come here for a day and educate your kids. It's really important.
All right, so that is it for Dachau. It's a lot to take in one day.
It's a lot to take in, you guys. You know, I sometimes get sentimental. It's heavy. What can I say? I'm not gonna, this isn't one of those days where I'm like, oh, here we go, we're gonna have fun. It's necessary and heavy, and I feel exhausted right now. Do you feel exhausted?
I do. I think we should end the day right now.
I just feel exhausted and overwhelmed, and not necessarily overwhelmed, but just depleted of energy. And anyway.
That's code for let's finish this up.
That's good. Let's wrap up.
Let's
wrap it up,
end
guys.
the day. All right, so we're gonna end it here.
Thank you for following,
thanks for
coming
following
along with us. It's not always easy. All the videos aren't always peppy. I hope this doesn't discourage you from hanging around, but we're keeping it real, guys. We're two people who are working our tails off to make this happen, and we're taking you along for the ride, and we really appreciate you sticking with us.
And this is how we educate. So just another day in their lives. Hopefully it's something they'll remember.
And if you guys like this, I think Will and I are talking about maybe going more often on the vlog and sharing more of how we educate on the road with you guys, if you'd like that. So if you're interested and you want more of that, let us know down in the comments.
Yeah. See you guys next time. And hit that subscribe button, because when you do go more often, you'll get notified more often. Bye.
All right, we are in the bathroom because this is the only place that we can find to shoot. It's pouring out. Our RV is poorly lit. This is a bit poorly lit, but we want to make sure we get the video out to you guys on Sunday night. So here goes.